Carlton Town TV here, today with Gary at the boot room.
Right, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Here at the boot room today. Just got a book launch coming up. The boot room have kindly donated a voucher for that £50 voucher raffle that will be hosted on Sunday. We'll go into more details about that event shortly. I mean, to be fair, it's nice just not interviewing you on Christmas Day for a change.
That's a change, isn't it, mate?
Valentine's Day instead.
Valentine's Day.
But let's talk about the book that obviously we're going to be hosting this evening for. Teamed up with Paul Lowe for that. Do you want to just tell me a brief bit about it?
It's basically Paul's idea. During COVID, I did a piece for one of his. He's a renowned author. He's done about 15 books, and I did a chapter. I met him at Carlton Town for a mick actually on one of our fundraising Christmas dues, and he asked me to do a chapter for a book during COVID about my life, a bit on my life story, and obviously. Then he set up World Game Changers charity, and he asked me to come on board with him because he's seen what I can do fundraising, i.e. fundraising and events and stuff. So yeah, I joined his charity, and then we had many conversations during COVID. We wanted a lot to do, a lot of Zoom meetings, etc., etc. They come up with the idea of doing a dual book. He's fascinated by the film Angels with Dirty Faces from the 30s, James Cagney, about how a gangster turned his life around after being a bit of a naughty boy. Paul's got a checkered history. He comes from a similar background in Nottingham, a Bestwood estate. Obviously, I'm an ex-football hooligan. So we had pretty similar backgrounds, and he thought it'd be a good idea to do a dual book on our life stories, and then a bit of a collaboration with other people interviewing us, i.e. Mick Carlton, the chairman at Carlton Town, has done 2 chapters interviewing us. Various people in all walks of life have interviewed us throughout. There's 8 chapters in the book. From all walks of life has interviewed us. There's business people, football fans. So it's Paul's baby, really. Basically, that's it. It's about how you can turn your life around. And it's a lot of football in it. A lot of Nottingham Forest stories, a lot of Carlton Town stories, a lot of good work that I would change their lives around, charity work, the fundraising Carlton Town do, the Community Football Club. It's a football book, and it's a good book how you can turn your life around and basically doing good in life, rather than the old days when we was a bit naughty and a bit off the beaten track, you know what I mean?
So speaking of business people, you said were in the book. Your boss Mark Flynn, his company Oakville Construction, they've sponsored the book, obviously.
Yeah.
And Mark's mentioned in the book. Do you want to tell me a little bit about like your long-standing relationship with him and his support for this?
Yeah, I've known Mark since I was 15. I met him at football. We've been lifelong friends since. I've worked for him for 30 years. He kindly agreed to help out with the book. Oakville Construction are one of the sponsors of the book. Mark's a big inspiration to me. Mark does a hell of a lot behind the scenes for charity, does London marathons, raises a hell of a lot of money, helps Nottingham School of Boxing Art in the city, helps in the city kids with food, and you know, he raises thousands for the privileged kids. And Mark's a big inspiration in my life, and I've worked for him for 30 years. His godfather is my son as well. You know, he couldn't meet a better person to be a godfather to his son. So he's one of the big inspirations in my life.
And obviously, naturally, another big inspiration in your life would be Carlton Town chairman Mick Carlton. But he's obviously featured in the book.
Yeah.
You know, you met him, got to know him better, invited him to the board at Carlton.
Yeah.
Like you say, the book touches on charity.
Yeah.
And you've done a lot of charity work at Carlton, including some pre-season games. Do you want to talk to me about how those relationships really came to be and developed?
Yeah, I mean, I met Mick basically through my father, who's a fellow author. I think my father sort of pushed his book onto Mick's shops, because Mick's got a lot of news agents in and around the Nottingham area, sells books and whatever else, and then I met a person, obviously I was in Nottingham Forest a lot, and I met Mike West at Forest, and I used to do go to a lot of his events, and he does a lot of fundraising for good causes, and he invited me to a Carlton event one Christmas about 10 years ago, and I took a table and really enjoyed it down there. Introduced myself to Mick, and I carried on going to these events, and I sort of donated a few bits, helped the club out, which I like doing, and got to know Mick quite well and become good friends with Mick. And then during COVID, sadly we lost the commercial manager at Carlton, and there was a void at the club, and Mick seen potential in me, and Mick gave me another chance to jump on board at Carlton to help with the work I do. This is a lot about the book's about as well, so I'm grateful to Mick Garton's for helping me out. It's given me a second chance as well. And a lot of the book's about Carlton Town and Mick doing a couple of chapters and our life together in the last few years. So,
obviously, I think it's a good point just to yet again thank Brian Dennett for his work at
Brian
Carlton
Dennett. Sorry,
Town.
but Brian Dennett, the legend at Carlton.
But this book also, you say Carlton's helped you. This book also helps Carlton. So the proceeds of the book are benefiting Carlton. Is that right?
That was the idea behind the book. Because I did a first book on football hooliganism 20 odd years ago. And it was just about my travels with England and Forest and my escapades travelling the world. It was basically what the football fans wanted, the football hooligan element wanted. But that was the craze at the time when I did this book. It sold thousands of copies worldwide. But I said if I do a second book, I want to do a book on how my life's changed round. And I said I'll do it for charity. I'll only do a second book for charity. And then I said my part of the deal is the proceeds are going to Carlton Town Football Club. Because this season we struggled with money. And I thought it's an ideal opportunity to do the book now to help fundraising at Carlton. So a lot of the profit is going to Carlton Town to help out.
You obviously say the first book touched on the hooliganism side, and a lot of that obviously with Nottingham Forest knowing the stories about Carlton in the book, but there is also some Forest content in the book.
Yeah, there's a lot
for the fans that go that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of Forest stories, foreign Forest, growing up as a kid, foreign Forest, and travelling with Forest. A lot of football stories this time. So there's a few spicy bits in there still from the old days, which we've thrown in. You know what I mean? There's a bit of a mixture, but mainly it's a good book on doing good, how people can change their lives around. But there's a lot of football stories in the book about following Nottingham Forest and how we've done in the past and won stuff and the glory years. There's a lot of stuff about the glory years in there. Mick being a big Forest fan as well, he touches on that subject, so there's a hell of a lot of Forest content in there.
Yeah, wow, we're in a glory year now, aren't we? So,
we're never glory, yeah.
Book 3. But obviously, the reason we're doing this, on Carlton Town TV is obviously down the clubhouse this weekend.
Yeah.
We've got the event on. As I've mentioned, there'll be a raffle. It wouldn't be a Carlton Town event unless there was. You've got people coming from quite far to do that. Do you want to just give me some details of those people?
Yeah, we've got good friends. I've got good friends all around the world through following football. I wouldn't be the man I am today if I hadn't gone down the path I did, and going with England at football and cricket as well. I've got people coming from Birmingham, Cambridge, Dorking, London. They're all coming to support the day, support Carlton Town. So it's going to be a big event, a good event. Obviously it's a fundraiser as well for Carlton to make some money on the day. Besides the book as well, hopefully we'll sell a few books. We're playing a big buffet on for 100 people. We've got various stuff going on with footballs on. It's going to be a great day, and Charlie's football team, his son's football team are coming along. The kids can play on the AstroTurf. It's going to be a family event as well. It's 2 o'clock till 6 in the evening. So it's going to be a great afternoon at Carlton. We're hoping to have 150 people through the doors at various intervals. It's going to be a great day.
It will be a great day, and if you're watching this, I very much recommend you come down. I'll be down there myself, obviously Gaz, you will be, and Chairman Mick Garton, who's filming this interview, will be as well. It'd just be great to support, and Gaz has supported the club so much that it'd be great if you could come and support the book. Them in turn is supporting us.
And we've got a few VIP guests coming along as well. We've got Luke Fletcher, Notts Cricketer of the Year, and his benefit year as well, coming along to support me. Ian Storey-Moore's going to pop along for a couple of hours, one of Forest's greatest ever players. Colin Barrett, Forest legend, European Cup winners, coming along. Hopefully Nick Randall, Chairman of Nottingham Forest, he's hoping to get there to support me as well. So we've got a few VIP coming along to meet people and mingle. So it's going to be a great day all round.
It sounds it, and I look forward to it very much, guys. So thank you for giving me your time. If you are there, and if you're not, buy this and support Carlton Town.